Yeah, in the blocks now. Just catching up on time from that restart. We have the women's U17 8s, the B final. And we have a clean and good start here in that women's U17 8s over in lane 0. So on the far right-hand side of the screen, if you're here on site, on the farthest shore is Row America Rye B. Next to them, we have Chicago in lane 1. In lane 2, CRI A. Cincinnati Juniors in lane 3. White Marsh Boat Club in lane 4. Dallas United Crew in lane 5. Morristown Rowing Club in lane 6. And TBC Racing in lane 7. Again, good early lead out of the red shell of CRI. Easy to recognize and easy to call because the charge in the last race. So we know that they may have something in the tank as the racing gets tight. Second place I'd called going to Row America Rye B. And then we were looking at a darker colored shell on the left-hand side of the screen. We'll get a peek at who that was, who may be a current third place position as we cross into this first quarter of the race. Again, this is a point in the race where athletes their boats are now up to full speed. They're trying to level out into what's their base pace, base speed, and can they hold through the middle of the race. Different boats and teams have different strategies as far as, get out, stay out, hold on. Are you trying to get up to speed, hold through the middle, and then drop in your speed, or do you do what we call negative splitting, where you start at one pace and you just try to get faster as you go down the course?
And yes, right now it seems like we have CRI leading this pack here with that bright red boat, but then I don't know, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
I would say TBC, that was a dark colored shell I didn't see before that I think is in that third place position or second place position. Then we were looking at White Marsh for just a hint there. It happened blink of an eye when you've got 8 lanes of racing. You got 8 bow balls, I can't even do the math right now between all the 8 athletes and each one of these 8s plus the coxswain. I mean, someone out there do math. There's a lot of people out there keep tabs on. But it did look to be that CRI was in a clear lead at that point. TBC about 3/4 of a length down off of CRI, and then the rest of the field all within about a seat or two.
And this is interesting because Chicago had the fastest time out of the semifinals at a 7:19, and CRI they had a 7:26. So they were at the bottom of the top half of the racing, and to see CRI showing this dominant lead right now and holding on and holding the rest of the field off is just awesome to see.
Yeah, and awesome to see it at a younger level. As just a reminder, even though we're calling these tight races, and that usually you see those tight margins occur with high-level racing, with those with a lot of experience. These athletes are all under the age of 17, so they may only have a year or two of experience. But right now we're looking at CRI in a great lead here at this point. Fourth, that lane 4 is in that second place position. That is White Marsh. Then we are looking at Dallas United Crew in lane 5 for your third place position. Fourth looks to be a tie between Chicago A and lane 7, TBC.
Yeah, so it looks like 4 and 5. I mean, it looks like 5. Our lane 5, which will be Dallas United Crew, is giving the pressure onto White Marsh right now, and we will be able to see.
As they come into this next mile marker of the course, we get a good shot at who's stacking up where, half point in the race. CRI trying to break away from the pack, but is very, very tight.
And we have all boats coming across into that third 500-meter race.
Absolutely. So we're still looking at CRI in the lead, but that is getting eaten up by Dallas United Crew. That bow is exchanging blows with the crew White Marsh next to them in lane 4. Every stroke, those bow balls are exchanging places, but I think it's White Marsh who's got the momentum.
Yes, I'm really curious to see, again, with this Dallas United Crew, they've been able to hold on to White Marsh, and I'm curious to see if we're going to see any moves by this Dallas United Crew to take a couple seats away from White Marsh.
Right, yeah, and don't count out TBC had a really good position at around the 750, and so perhaps they were staying out at that position, and they'll kind of strike a little bit later, but we are still looking at CRI, and then we're now looks to be White Marsh in a second place position, Dallas United, and as I talked about TBC, am I right? Their bow ball is crossing a little bit across these buoys a little bit later than the others, but they're really only about 2 seats down off of that second place.
And they have some connection here. I mean, it isn't open water right now. And so there's still time to
Look at
eat
this.
away.
I love this angle. You see the dance between lanes 4 and 5. 4 and 5. White Marsh, Dallas United crew going back and forth every single stroke. It just matters where you are. Are you on the drive? Are you at the finish? As to whose bow is out in front. I think White Marsh knew that was happening. They said, I don't want any part of it. They're trying to get out ahead. And now White Marsh seems to be pulling level with CRI.
And I will have to say, White Marsh and Dallas, they both pulled a 728 out of their semifinals. So we're not surprised to see this battle of the bow balls.
Absolutely. And you do have a new leader in this race. It will be White Marsh. Dallas, and that fight with Dallas that they had pushed those two crews ahead of CRI. So we have a bit of a change up in the lead here at this point in the race.
And we are now in that last extra tough 500. Made for the professionals.
Yeah, professionals. It's going to take a pro to be able to navigate this particularly stressful race experience. Stressful, but also something you live for. If you want to, this is a lot of these athletes' last race of the season. Being younger, hopefully they come back for more because they're hungry for these types of racing opportunities. So it was an early leader of CRI, but that had been nipped away by White Marsh. But then look at this charge here on the far side of the course by Row America Rye B. Now, I don't even know what to call it, but all these crews are charging into the red buoys. You see that change into the red, meaning that they are in the last 250 meters of the race.
It looks like White Marsh has picked it up, and they're starting to close that gap between first place, and it looks like they will maybe have that first place lead right now.
It may be momentary, just because a lot can happen. All these boats, I can tell it's a really thick race. Everyone's taking up the rate here at this point. White Marsh charging towards the line. They were about level with some of these other crews. They're trying to get more space. They want to be able to claim the 9th place in the country in this women's U17 8, and now it looks to be so. They look to have about 3/4 of a length up on the crew next to them. Dallas United, who they were neck and neck with around the middle part of the race. But it does look to be White Marsh who will take away a win in this race.
We will have a battle for second right here. We will have Chicago and Dallas United fighting, and then we had a battle for third as well. I mean, or fourth as well. That was...
Yeah, TBC, and then we had CRI coming across the line looking at Cincinnati Juniors and then Morristown. Very, very tight racing. Looking over at the finish times on the left-hand side of our screen. I mean...
a second between second, third, and fourth place.